Imagine a child born into a society that denied him basic dignity, a boy who was told he didn't belong, that he couldn't rise above the caste he was born into. He was excluded, humiliated, and treated as less than human, but he didn't accept that as his destiny. Instead, he decided to fight, not with weapons, but with the power of education, resilience, and an unshakable will. This boy grew up to challenge an entire system of oppression. Against all odds, he became one of the most highly educated individuals of his time, earning degrees from some of the world's most prestigious institutions. But his ambition was never about personal success. It was about breaking chains, uplifting millions, and rewriting the narrative for the oppressed. He envisioned a world where justice and equality would prevail, and he worked tirelessly to make it a reality. From shaping the foundation of an entire nation to advocating for the rights of those who had been silenced for centuries, his journey was nothing short of extraordinary. Stay tuned to discover the story of a man whose legacy continues to inspire generations. Who is he? Let's dive in and find out. Dr. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar. His name resonates with the strength of a man who rose from the depths of oppression to become a beacon of hope and change for millions. Today, as we gather to honor his legacy, let us take a deep dive into the extraordinary life of a man who epitomized the very essence of self-control, determination, and resilience. Born on April 14, 1891 in Mao, India, Dr. Ambedkar faced challenges that most of us cannot even fathom. He belonged to the untouchable caste, a label that society imposed to dehumanize an entire group of people. Imagine being treated as less than human, denied the most basic rights, and yet having the audacity to dream of equality. That was Ambedkar, a man who turned the chains of his oppression into weapons of liberation. Let us talk about his struggles. As a child, he was made to sit outside the classroom on a gunny sack. He couldn't even drink water from the same pot as other students. But instead of succumbing to bitterness or despair, he chose education as his weapon. This is a Stoic principle in action, focusing not on the external circumstances, but on one's internal power to rise above them. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Ambedkar embodied this strength. His pursuit of education was nothing short of phenomenal. He earned degrees from prestigious institutions, including a doctorate in economics from Columbia University and a DSc from the London School of Economics. He became one of the most highly educated individuals of his time. But let me remind you, this wasn't handed to him. He studied under dim lamps, faced poverty head-on, and pushed forward despite every obstacle. Now let's talk about what he achieved. Ambedkar's vision was not limited to personal success. It was about uplifting an entire community. He fought for the rights of the marginalized, scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, backward classes, and anyone who faced systemic injustice. He knew that freedom was meaningless unless it was shared by all. Dr. Ambedkar's political journey was marked by tireless advocacy for equality. He was a member of the Constituent Assembly and played a pivotal role in drafting the Indian Constitution. Imagine this. A man who was once denied the right to sit in a classroom was now shaping the framework for an entire nation. He ensured that the Constitution safeguarded the rights of all citizens, especially the oppressed. His work emphasized equality, justice, and liberty, principles that resonate with Stoic philosophy. As Epictetus taught, no man is free who is not master of himself. Ambedkar sought to empower every individual to become the master of their destiny. But his journey wasn't without sacrifice. He faced criticism, opposition, and betrayal. Yet he stood firm. He once said, "I measure the progress of a community by the degree of progress which women have achieved." This was a man who thought ahead of his time, championing gender equality and social justice when it wasn't fashionable or easy. Ambedkar's decision to embrace Buddhism in 1956 was a monumental act of self-liberation. He sought a path of peace, compassion, and enlightenment, not just for himself, but for his people. Buddhism's core teachings align beautifully with Stoic principles. Focus on inner peace, let go of attachments, and live a virtuous life. By converting, Ambedkar showed that true power lies in choosing your beliefs and values, not in succumbing to societal expectations. Think about this for a moment. Ambedkar could have chosen to live a quiet, comfortable life after achieving his degrees and accolades, but he didn't. He returned to India, knowing full well the challenges he would face. Why? Because he had a purpose greater than himself. He knew that the fight for equality and justice was far from over. As Seneca said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." Ambedkar dared. Now, what can we learn from his life? First, never let your circumstances define you. Whether you are born into poverty, face discrimination, or encounter setbacks, remember that you have the power to rise above them. Ambedkar's life is proof that no obstacle is insurmountable if your will is strong enough. Second, education is your greatest weapon. Invest in learning. Read, explore, and expand your mind. Ambedkar's success was rooted in his relentless pursuit of knowledge. Third, fight for what is right, even when it's not easy. Ambedkar didn't just live for himself, he lived for a cause. Find your purpose and dedicate your life to something meaningful. As Ambedkar himself said, be educated, be organized, and be agitated. Lastly, practice self-control. Ambedkar faced humiliation, injustice, and hatred, but he never let anger or bitterness consume him. He channeled his energy into constructive action. That's a lesson for all of us. Control your emotions, focus on your goals, and let your actions speak louder than words. Dr. Ambedkar's legacy is a testament to the power of resilience, education, and purpose. He showed us that one person can change the course of history. So ask yourself, what are you doing today to create a better tomorrow? How are you contributing to the world? What legacy will you leave behind? As we remember the life and achievements of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, let us take inspiration from his journey. Let his story ignite a fire within you, a fire to rise above challenges, to fight for justice, and to achieve greatness in your own life. Because if Ambedkar could transform his destiny, so can you. Thank you for listening. Let's honor Ambedkar's legacy not just in words but in actions. Let's build a world where equality, justice, and compassion are not ideals but realities. Remember, the power to change your life and the world around you lies within you. Use it.